Welcome to another episode of Dark and Creepy Things.
Yeah.
With
Frank
and
Scout
and Sindel. Hi,
Yay.
Sindel. Welcome back for another episode.
Thanks for having me.
We just happened to record 2 on the same day, guys.
Shh, don't tell them.
Don't give away the magic.
The magic's ruined forever.
Forever.
I'm not going to be able to listen to these podcasts That's not true. I will listen to them every single one you ever produce.
Aw.
Thanks.
I've really enjoyed them so far.
Yay. Oh, that's great.
What's your favourite one so far?
I really enjoyed listening to the arguments of the spontaneous human.
Oh,
A
really?
few people have said that's their favourite so far.
I did find the Stone Babies pretty creepy.
I love stone
Me too. I
babies.
was significantly little bit freaked out by Stone Babies. It still maybe yeah.
And like the fact that people had carried them for so
Yeah.
long, like that was really terrifying. I was like, like you were like, I've got a stone baby. And I was like, could I have a stone baby?
I'm like, I'm full of stone babies.
Yeah.
I love how the 2 people who I wouldn't have think could have stone babies freak out about stone babies. And yet the one person who could possibly have stone babies isn't freaked out about stone babies.
Maybe you have a stone baby.
I don't think so.
I think you just got the most scientific mind, like a rational, calm mind.
Well,
Probably.
considering I had an ultrasound pretty recently, I think they would have found it if...
Oh yeah, they probably would have found it.
Yeah, they would have found it, guys.
Ultrasound.
It's not like a lot of people who lived with their stone babies lived in either a very long time ago or in countries or in societies which had low socioeconomic regions, and so they didn't have access to healthcare.
Yeah, so they can't just go get it. Oh, look at this, Louise found.
Hey,
Yeah.
Louie.
So they couldn't get detected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Alright, so...
Anyway, what have you, before we get into it,
Yeah, patrons. Thanks, patrons.
so we have
Bitten by the bug.
Bitten by the Bug. Thanks, Mum.
Francis.
Yeah. Maia.
/ H-bomb.
And Sean.
And Sian.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Alright, so...
What have you got for us, Scout?
Is this episode 19? And yeah, I'm going to dig up an old favourite, the Poltergeist.
Yay. Now, I know that there's differences between things like spirits and ghosts and poltergeists.
We've touched on this before when we had an argument about ghosts versus poltergeists.
Yeah.
So now you'll get to learn the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in ghost lore, a poltergeist is a German for noisy ghost or noisy spirit, is a type of ghost or spirit that is responsible for physical disturbances such as loud noises and objects being moved or destroyed. They are purportedly capable of pinching, biting, hitting, and tripping people. So, yeah, most accounts of poltergeists describe the movement or levitation of objects such as furniture and cutlery, or noises such as knocking on doors. They have traditionally been described as troublesome spirits who haunt a particular person instead of a specific location. Such alleged poltergeist manifestations have been reported in many cultures and countries including the United States, India, Japan, Brazil, Australia, and European nations, or most European nations. Early accounts date back to the 1st century. So, not ghosts, because poltergeists are the naughty ones.
Yeah, but they're still technically ghosts. They're just being naughty.
Yeah,
like
but
a subset of ghosts.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if the article goes into this, but I've heard it's got something to do with feeding off the energy of especially a young person. And like young people have been known to be associated with them, and like having a teenager in the house or something.
Yeah.
I'll probably go into that.
Yeah, maybe. So etymology. The word poltergeist comes from the German language words poltern, to make sound and to rumble, and geist, ghost and spirit. Is that what you knew? Yeah?
Although I didn't know it meant to rumble. Can we call them rumble ghosts?
Rumble ghosts.
Alright, so poltergeists are rumble ghosts.
Rumble ghosts.
That's a good derby name, I think, maybe. Rumble ghost. Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, no, don't do it again.
I'll change my name again.
And the term itself translates as noisy ghost or rumble ghost.
Rumble ghost.
Or a loud spirit.
A loud spirit.
I like rumble ghost, that's great. A synonym coined by Renee Sudre is thoribism.
From me, look
Greek.
at that.
I'm terrible at reading.
Thoribism, yeah.
Thoribism. From Greek thorobine, to make noise or uproar, throw into confusion. Alright. Now, I am slightly a believer. I'm open to it.
I'm not.
Sindel.
I'm agnostic about ghosts and spirits and poltergeists. I think I could probably be convinced.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think so, but I'm still terrified.
Yeah, whereas I
Well, you must believe something.
No, I don't believe it. I just,
Then why do you
doesn't
get
mean-
scared?
I just get scared because I'm a scaredy cat. That's why. It doesn't mean I
I
actually believe it.
Whereas I don't get scared. I have trouble getting scared and seek to get scared, but
Yeah,
don't
so
get
that's the
scared.
thing. I think
I want something to scare me.
That's the thing. I think you believe it because you want it to be real so that it could scare you.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I know logically it can't be real. Doesn't mean I'm not scared of what I can't explain.
Okay, but if you can't explain something, don't you think there might be something to?
No, I think that I can't explain it, but someone else might be able to.
I think there's things that science can't explain yet, but
Yeah.
potentially they will be uncovered, and then one day, we'll just be like, oh yeah, nah, it's just like an energy imprint, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah,
and it won't be a big thing.
Yeah, there'll be some new.
And you'll be able to like zap them away like the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. I think that all paranormal activity that we've seen is something that is scientific, but we haven't yet explained it. Because you got to remember, like, people didn't know the Earth was round up until about 400
Some
years
people
ago.
still think it's not.
Yeah.
I know that, but you know what I
Some
mean?
cultures did, but like, yeah.
Yeah,
know
I
what you
mean, like,
mean,
originally we did actually know that the Earth was round. The Roman cultures did, but then fucking Christianity happened. And I'm not going to go further into that. Scout, keep going right.
You're hijacking my.
I know, I'm stopping. That's why I'm stopping.
Thank you. Alright, suggested explanations. Natural phenomena. Many claimed poltergeist events have proved on investigation to be hoaxes. Physical researcher Frank Podmore, are you Frank Podmore?
No.
Proposed the naughty little girl theory for poltergeist cases, is what you're meaning about. Yeah, I think so. Many of which have seemed to centre on an adolescent, usually a girl. This is what Sindel was mentioning before. He found that the centre of the disturbance was often a child who was throwing objects around to fool or scare people for attention. Skeptical investigator Joe Nichol says that claimed poltergeist incidents typically originate from, in quotation marks, an individual who is motivated to cause mischief. According to Nichol, in this is a quote, in the typical poltergeist outbreak, small objects are hurled through the air by unseen forces, furniture is overturned, or other disturbances occur. Usually just what could be accomplished by a juvenile trickster determined to plague credulous adults. I think we need more of those. Nichol,
Credulous adults? Or
no, not credulous.
Juvenile pranksters.
Juvenile tricksters, I think.
Tricksters.
Or just tricksters in general. Nichol writes that reports are often exaggerated by credulous witnesses. This is a quote again. Time and again in other poltergeist outbreaks, witnesses have reported an object leaping from its resting place, supposedly on its own, when it is likely that the perpetrator had secretly obtained the object sometime earlier and waited for an opportunity to fling it, even from outside the room, thus supposedly proving he or she was innocent.
Can you please repeat that again?
It's a very wordy quote.
Yes.
Alright. Time and again in other, and then more quotation marks, poltergeist outbreaks, witnesses have reported an object leaping from its resting place, supposedly on its own, when it is likely that the perpetrator had secretly obtained the object sometime earlier. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yes, keep going.
And waited for an opportunity to fling it, even from outside the room, thus supposedly proving he or she was innocent. I'm getting a lot of blank faces right now.
Yeah, that's a hard quote to follow.
Yeah.
So essentially saying that they're blaming poltergeist activity on naughty children.
Yes.
But as in, like, the poltergeists are naughty children, or naughty children are doing it and then saying it's a ghost.
I think they're blaming it on a human.
Yeah.
Saying that it's something else.
So they're saying, oh, it wasn't a ghost, it was your naughty kid.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah. Okay. According to research in
Anomalistic psychology.
thank you. anomalistic psychology. What is that?
Psychology around anomalies?
Ah, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll go with that. Claims of poltergeist activity can be explained by psychological factors such as illusion, memory lapses, and wishful thinking.
I love how wishful thinking is a psychological idea.
Yeah. A study, Lang and Huron, 1998, wrote that poltergeist experiences are delusions, in quotation marks, resulting from the affective and cognitive dynamics of participants' interpretation of ambiguous stimuli, end quotation marks.
Okay.
Psychologist Donovan Rawcliffe has written that almost all poltergeist cases that have been investigated turned out to be based on trickery, whilst the rest are attributable to psychological factors such as hallucinations.
Okay. So essentially saying that people who see poltergeists are crazy.
That's what they're saying. But
Keep going.
am I crazy? Right. Attempts have also been made to scientifically explain poltergeist disturbances that have not been traced to fraud or psychological factors. Skeptic and magician, because, we're supposed to believe the magician, Milbourne Christopher, found that some cases of poltergeist activity can be attributed to unusual air currents, such as a 1957 case on Cape Cod, where downdrafts from an uncovered chimney became strong enough to blow a mirror off a wall, overturn chairs, and knock things off shelves. Right. Unverified natural phenomena. In the 1950s, Guy William Lambert proposed that reported poltergeist phenomena could be explained by the movement of underground water causing stress on houses.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of I'm glad I read it out of stress, because in my head I was reading trees.
Cause trees on houses.
Water causing trees on houses. No, water causing stress on houses. He suggested that water turbulence could cause strange sounds or structural movement of the property, possibly causing the house to vibrate and move objects. Yeah, I totally get that, but sometimes it's just not,
And he's saying that some of it could be caused.
Of course, but when something can't be explained...
Why do I know the name Guy William Lambert?
I don't know.
I know that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later researchers, such as Alan Gould and Tony Cornell, tested Lambert's hypothesis by placing specific objects in different rooms and subjecting the house to strong mechanical vibrations. They discovered that although the structure of the building had been damaged, only a few of the objects moved a very short distance. The skeptic, Trevor H. Hall, criticised the hypothesis, claiming if it was true, the building would almost certainly fall to ruins. According to Richard Wiseman, the hypothesis has not held up to scrutiny.
Wiseman, not Wiseman.
No, I like saying Wiseman.
Wiseman.
Wiseman. Michael Persinger has theorised that seismic activity could cause poltergeist phenomena. However, Persinger's claims regarding the effects of environmental geomagnetic activity on paranormal experiences have not been independently replicated, and, like his findings regarding the God helmet, what's a God helmet?
I don't know.
There's a link to it. May simply be explained by the suggestibility of participants. Do you want to know what a God helmet is?
No, but I think he's just saying that the fact that it depends what participants you use, because that is a thing in psychological research. Like, if a participant is particularly influenceable, you can get them to pretty much say anything.
Suggestible.
Ah, okay. Right. Gotcha.
You'll ask the right questions, they'll give you the answers that you want them to.
That's
that
the whole
you want
thing about,
to
like, hypnotising people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got to be the right kind of person.
Yeah.
David Turner, a retired physical chemist, suggested that ball lightning, we've discussed ball lightning, might cause the spooky movement of objects blamed on poltergeists.
Okay.
When did we discuss ball lightning? Was
I think spontaneous human combustion.
Yeah. Okay. So paranormal. Parapsychologist Nandor Fedor.
Nandor Fedor.
Look at that name, Nandor Fedor.
Show me. Land or Fedor.
Fedor. And William G. Roll suggests that poltergeist activity can be explained by psychokinesis. Poltergeist activity has often been believed to be the work of malicious spirits by spiritualists. According to Allan Kardec, the founder of Spiritism, poltergeists are manifestations of disembodied spirits of low level belonging to the 6th class of the 3rd order. Under this explanation, they are believed to be closely associated with the elements fire, air, water, earth.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm lost now.
Right?
I think what he's essentially trying to say is there's some sort of ranking going on.
Oh,
like
like spirits are ranked.
Yeah, some sort of ranking. I don't understand, but okay, go on.
Yeah, it's...
Like a low-level spirit. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, that's just the low level.
A grading of
Ooh.
spirits. I suppose a
Yeah,
high-level
maybe.
spirit is like possessing people or something.
Oh.
That is like an exorcism.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. Famous cases. So these are all links. Maybe I'll click on one or two.
It's up to you.
Yeah, that sound interesting. Sindel, if you decide any of them sound interesting, you can click on them and read about it.
Oh yeah.
So we've got the Glen Luce Devil that was in 1654 to 1656. Drummer of Tedworth, 1662. Mackey Poltergeist,
Mackey.
1695. The Epworth Rectory, and there's a picture on this article of the Epworth Rectory. That's from 1716 to 1717. That might be interesting.
They might have started keeping like better written records.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little bit like, I don't know, on the old ones.
Yeah, same. I'm just like,
How accurate are those records?
Yeah, I'm wondering how recent they get. Hinton Appner, 1764 to 1771. Oh, there's a bit of a few years there. Got 7 years of activity. Stockwell Ghost in 1772. The Stanford Piverall in 1810 to 1811. The Bell Witch of Tennessee from 1817 to 1872. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard it on another podcast.
Ah. Bealing's Bells in 1934. Angelique Cotton. What's CA mean?
Circa.
Oh, I thought so. Around 1846. I did know that. I was just checking. Bellichin House, 1876. Great Amherst Mystery, 1878 to 1879. Caledonia Mills, 1899 to 1922. Jeff the Talking Mongoose, 1930, 1931.
I vote for that one.
Talking mongoose.
That one vote for Jeff with the G.
Jeff with a G.
G-E-F. Jeff the Talking Mongoose.
Talking mongoose.
Alright, we might come back to that one. Worley Rectory in 1937. Thornton Heath Poltergeist in 1938. The Seaford Poltergeist in 1958. I wonder if that means Seaford, Victoria.
No, what year was it?
Places.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, a lot of Australian towns and enough British
True.
towns.
True. Matthew Manning, 1960s to 1970s. The Black Monk of Pontefract. Ah, do you know that one?
Yeah.
1960s to 1970s. The Rosenheim Poltergeist, doesn't have a year. The Enfield Poltergeist, 1977. The Thornton Road Poltergeist of Birmingham, 1981, good year. Tina Resch, 1984. And the Caneto di Caranoia Fires Poltergeist, 2004 to 2005. So did we want Jeff the
Talking Mongoose? I just want to know how that is actually about a poltergeist, or if there's just some random link about a talking mongoose.
Did you want one? Did you have a choice?
No, not really. Just talk about the talking mongoose.
Okay.
I want to know what this talking mongoose is.
So there's a picture. When you click on Jeff the Talking Mongoose, it takes you to a Wikipedia page called Jeff, G-E-F. There is a picture.
G-E-F. Nothing else, just G-E-F.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it's like Geff.
GIF, the talking. It's like the whole GIF versus GIF thing
I know,
all over
right?
again.
What's GIF?
It's a GIF,
Geff.
not a GIF. It's a GIF.
GIF,
No,
yeah.
no, I don't know another one. Is it a GIF or a GIF? It's a GIF. Not a GIF.
But I
I
read
think
that.
there's arguments either way.
It's a GIF.
I read that the original creator
No.
of a GIF said it was actually
Wrong.
a GIF.
No,
I've
it's a
heard
GIF.
that
You heard that
but
too?
But I still call it a GIF.
It's
Same.
wrong. He's
Because
wrong.
GIF is stuff, but
GIF
It's
is like
GIF.
a toilet cleaner.
right, yeah, it's that white
GIF.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, back on Jeff the Talking Mongoose, there is a picture of a news article from 1932. article that suggested trickery and ventriloquism from Voyery Irving was the cause of the Jeff phenomena.
Oh.
And the headline of the news article says, "Clue to mystery of talking weasel."
Talking weasel. I thought it was a mongoose.
Get your
Schoolgirl,
animals right, people.
yeah, schoolgirl may have powers of ventriloquism.
Oh, it's a power now.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
power now.
totally.
It's a superpower.
Okay, Jeff. Also referred to as the talking mongoose or the Dalby spook, was the name given to a talking mongoose which was claimed to inhabit a farmhouse owned by the Irving family. The Irving's farm was located at Cashin's Gap near the hamlet of Dalby on the Isle of Man. We don't want to go there, the Isle of Man.
Oh, I'd love to go there.
There's Man.
The Isle of Man is beautiful.
Yeah, but it's not actually
Just man.
just men.
I hope there's not just men there. The story was given extensive coverage by the tabloid press in Britain in the early 1930s. The Irving's claims gained the attention of parapsychologists and ghost hunters such as Harry Price, Hereward Carrington, and Nandor Fodor. Nandor Fodor again.
Nandor Fodor. Yep.
Some investigators of the era, as well as contemporary critics, have concluded that Voyery Irving used ventriloquism and family collusion to perpetuate the hoax.
Wasn't real?
Well, do we want to know more?
Well, what did it do?
Well, I don't know. Do we
Nothing's
want to know
creepy yet. You're just trying to give me the science. I want to know the creepy shit.
this?
I'm not easily spooked anymore.
I don't know if I find a talking mongoose that creepy.
No,
I
it's
would.
Just
not.
giggle.
It's not creepy at all.
It depends on what it says. If the talking mongoose is telling me it's going to eat all my family or something, I'd be fucking terrified. Like, what the hell is this mongoose talking about?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Like, okay, if the mongoose just comes up to me and says, I don't know, like, I like fish or something, I'd be like, okay,
I'm
what?
sorry,
I'd be like, that's a bit strange.
Ew,
Why
bro.
you taught? I don't understand. But if the mongoose came up to me and started, I don't know, threatening death to my family, I think I might be a bit more terrified.
But they're saying it was like ventriloquism. So did someone just literally have like a mongoose puppet and
Yeah.
just freak people out?
Alright, let me
Okay.
read the story. Okay,
Okay,
let's
read the story.
In September 1931, the Irving family, consisting of James, Margaret, and a 13-year-old daughter named Voyery. Is that Voirrey?
Can I say?
I'd become a ventriloquistic poltergeist.
Voyery, yeah.
My name was Voyery as
Who
well.
names their kid Voyery?
You just ask me for trickery.
Yeah, I'm gonna name you Voyery after.
Might be the next big fad.
Voyery.
Yeah.
They Voyery. Claimed they heard persistent scratching, rustling, and vocal noises behind their farmhouse's wooden wall panels that variously resembled a ferret, a dog, or a baby. I assume they mean human baby.
Yeah.
According to the Irvings, a creature named Jeff, G-E-F, introduced itself and told them it was a mongoose born in New Delhi, India in 1852. So
That's a
random.
really old mongoose. It's an
It's so
80-year-old
random.
mongoose.
The mongooses are from India, so that does make sense.
An 80-year-old mongoose?
According to Voyery, Jeff was the size of a small rat with yellowish fur and a large bushy tail. What is a mongoose? Like,
Mongooses are a lot bigger than that.
It's like
Are they
a
a goose?
weasel type.
They're not a
No, it's
goose.
not a
They're a
goose.
weasel.
Yeah.
oh,
Like a
but they're
weaselly
like
ferret thing.
Asian.
And they're a lot bigger than
for
that.
some reason I'm
Version.
picturing a moose.
It's not a moose and it's not a goose.
Alright.
It's not a. It's not
It's
a.
not a moose. It's not,
not
a
a-
goose.
it's
and now
a
we're talking like
mongoose.
Dr. Zeus. Alright.
It's not a moose that's not
Okay,
a
I'm looking up what a mongoose looks like
goose.
because you don't know what a mongoose
It's
I
like
know
looks
a
what
like.
weasel. They eat cobras.
There you
I'm
go.
picturing like
That's a mongoose.
They're really, really feisty.
you.
They're not that
Well, it's
gross.
kind of cute.
Mongooses are funny.
So they're not like big.
No, they're not big,
They're
but
like-
they're
They're
They
like the
look like
size of a
that.
They're
weasel.
like a ferret.
they're like a ferrety weasel thing.
Ah.
But I feel like they're a
I'm
lot. They
literally
also look a bit
picturing-
evil.
Yeah, that's a bit
Oh,
disturbing.
have you ever
I'm
met a ferret? Yeah, they're evil.
Ferrets are
Oh,
evil.
ferrets like steal things.
Yeah, mongooses eat snakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was literally picturing like a big moose with like horns, like from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
So the species
Jeff.
range.
Name's Jeff.
Someone just like a giant moose appearing in some.
Like, hi, my name's Jeff. Hi, my name's Jeff. So mongooses range.
Name's Jeff.
Mongooses range from 24 to 58 centimeters in length, excluding the tail. No, but it's not as big as a small. It's a lot bigger than a small rat.
Yeah, but it's not a big bloody
It's not as big as a moose.
Oh, Jeff.
So apparently, average lifespan in captivity is 20 years. So an 80-year-old mongoose does not make any fucking sense. Oh, and the Wikipedia article for a mongoose has a picture of mongooses having sex. So go have a look at that if you're so inclined.
The link will be in the bio.
This is what a mongoose looks like.
Right. That explains why Jeff was the size of a small rat with yellowish fur and a large bushy tail. It looks nothing like a moose. Okay.
No. It also doesn't look a lot like a mongoose, but anyway.
Right. The Irvings say that Jeff communicated to them that he was an extra clever mongoose, an earthbound spirit, and a ghost in the form of a mongoose, and once said, "I am a freak. I have hands and I have feet, and if you saw me you'd faint. You'd be petrified, mummified, turned into stone, or a pillar of salt." Do you like my voice of Jeff?
Yeah, okay. The only thing, the pillar of salt thing, that's a reference to a biblical story, isn't it?
Yeah. The Irvings made various claims about Jeff. He supposedly guarded their house and informed them of the approach of guests or any unfamiliar dog. They said that if someone had forgotten to put out the fire at night, Jeff would go down and stop the stove. The Irvings claimed Jeff would also wake people up when they overslept. Sounds like having a cat to me.
Mm.
And whenever mice got into the house, Jeff supposedly assumed the role of the cat. Magical.
None of this is scary.
No, I know. Although he preferred to scare them rather than kill them. The Irvings say they gave Jeff biscuits, chocolates, and bananas.
So seriously, they just, like a stray cat wandered in. Maybe there was like some ergotism or something going on, and they had some mold in their bread, and they all hallucinated.
Maybe.
Yeah,
talking
possibly.
cat.
Maybe.
Talking cat came in their house.
Yeah. The Irvings say they gave Jeff biscuits, chocolates, and bananas, and food was left for him in a saucer suspended from the ceiling, which he took when he thought no one was watching. The Irvings claimed the mongoose regularly accompanied them on trips to the market, but always stayed on the other side of the hedges, chatting incessantly. The story of Jeff became popular in the tabloid press, and many journalists flocked to the Isle to try to catch a glimpse of the creature. Several other people, both locals and visitors, claimed to have heard Jeff's voice, and 2 claimed to have seen it. However, physical evidence was lacking. Footprints, stains on the wall, and hair samples claimed to be evidence of Jeff were identified as belonging to the Irving sheepdog, as well as several photos which were claimed by the Irvings to depict Jeff. Margaret and Voirrey Irving left the home in 1945 after the death of James Irving. They reportedly had to sell the farm at a loss because it had the reputation of being haunted. In 1946, Leslie Graham, the actor who had bought their farm, claimed in the press that he had shot and killed Jeff. Oh no, Jeff.
Jeff's dead though.
Well, Jeff sounds like he was probably the sheepdog.
Yeah, maybe. The body displayed by Graham was, however, black and white and much larger than the famous mongoose, and Voirrey Irving was certain that it was not Jeff. She died in 2005. Voirrey.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In an interview published late in life, she maintained that Jeff was not her creation.
I feel like this is all a bit silly.
It is a little bit silly.
It's a bit silly.
Should we go back to something scary?
Yes, let's try to find one that's not Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Jeff, I'm a mongoose.
Look, I don't understand where the term mongoose came from. Like, how did they know about mongoose?
Mongoose?
Mongoose? They just thought they had Animal Planet.
Jeff introduced himself as a mongoose.
But how did they know
Very
what
true, from India.
But exactly, but
So
like,
he probably could have just been like a cat or a dog.
Yeah,
or
like,
something, and
but
they were
also
just
as
like,
well-
Oh, he's an Indian version. Cool. Alright.
okay, but also like, okay, I don't care if it's a cat or a dog or a mongoose or whatever. Why the fuck is it talking? That's what I want to know.
It's Jeff. He ate some chocolate and some cookies.
What was in those cookies?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all high as a kite.
In parapsychology, an apparitional experience is an anonymous. I can't do it.
Is an anomalous
Experience characterized by the apparent perception of either a living being or an inanimate object without there being any material stimulus for such a perception. The person experiencing the apparition is awake, excluding dream visions and consideration. In academic discussion, the term apparitional experience is to be preferred to the term ghost. So ghosts, like, apparently scientists or academics like to
That's just a
say
fancy
ghost,
word.
say apparition.
Well, that's what makes them academics, is they have a fancy word for everything.
But, yeah. In respect to the following points. Number 1, the term ghost implies that some element of the human being survives death and at least under certain circumstances can make itself perceptible to living human beings. There are other competing explanations of apparitional experiences. Number 2, first-hand accounts of apparitional experiences differ in many respects from their fictional counterparts in literary and traditional ghost stories and films. The contents of apparitional experiences include living beings, both human and animal, and even inanimate objects. So there are like 3. Yeah.
How can you have a ghost that's an inanimate object, though?
I read about some woman who thought her toaster was a ghost.
Yeah, but her toaster was real, wasn't it?
Well, Tina Resch, born October 23, 1969, was a central figure in a series of incidents that came to be called the Columbus Poltergeist case. In 1984, alleged telekinesis events at her Columbus, Ohio home drew significant news media interest. A series of colour photographs taken by photojournalist Fred Shannon and published by the Columbus Dispatch were purported to show Resch sitting in an armchair with a telephone handset and phone cord flying in front of her from left to right. Resch's story and Shannon's photography were featured on a 1993 episode of Unsolved Mysteries. I still love that show. Skeptics and debunkers pointed out that much of the proclaimed evidence was anecdotal and declared the case to be a hoax. Paul Kurtz wrote that Resch was, in quotation marks, a disturbed teenager who faked poltergeist phenomena because she, in quotation marks, craved attention. Resch was married and divorced twice and had a child named Amber Boyer. In 1994, facing a potential death penalty if she agreed to go to trial before jury, Jesus,
Well,
Resch instead accepted a plea bargain with prosecutors to being responsible for the death of her 3-year-old daughter that had occurred while the daughter was being looked after by her boyfriend, and she was sentenced to life imprisonment. Jeez, okay. So, the alleged poltergeist case, I mean, if it's not creepy, it's definitely bloody interesting and pretty dark. But, you know, it's basically saying that she said that her 3-year-old daughter died at the hands of a poltergeist. And then if she went to trial to say that they were going to imprison her.
well, they're going to set it to the death penalty.
Yeah, they're going to give her a death penalty
Yeah.
for saying a poltergeist killed her daughter. Yeah. Should I read on?
Yep.
So the alleged poltergeist case. Tina Resch is the adopted daughter of Joan and John Resch. The Resches were well known in Columbus as they were foster parents who had helped care for 250 children
Holy
prior
shit.
to 1984. Wow.
That's a lot of kids.
Was that as much as John Kellogg?
About that, he would have been about 200.
Yeah, foster children. When she was 14, Tina watched the movie Poltergeist. Oh, here's where they're going to blame it on the movie Poltergeist. And sure, I watched the movie Poltergeist. Did I blame a poltergeist for killing my 3-year-old daughter? No. I watched
You
it
don't
as
have a
child.
3-year-old daughter.
Well, still, you know what I mean? Like, stop blaming movies for stuff.
Maybe it killed your stone baby.
When she was 14, Tina watched the movie Poltergeist. Yeah, I watched it when I was younger. And shortly
For
afterward,
the competition.
the family reported seeing objects fly around their house. Reporter Mike Harden of the Columbus Dispatch was asked to assist the family and involved photographer Fred Shannon. The Columbus Dispatch interviewed Tina and later published several photos purporting to show a telephone flying through the air. And this is not mobile phones, people. This is back when telephones had cords and was attached to a wall or a table or something. Parapsychologist William Roll stayed in the Resch house to investigate the case and claimed that there had been genuine, and in quotation marks, spontaneous psychokinesis. Roll, however, never observed any object move by itself. And why is he claiming that? In one incident, a picture fell from a wall in an upstairs room where Tina had been alone half an hour before. Roll was facing away from the picture when it fell. James Randi, an investigator for the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, was refused access to the household, but investigated the case and suspected Tina had faked the alleged poltergeist occurrences. According to Terence Hines, and this is a quote directly from him, the Resch poltergeist turned out to be so elusive that no one ever actually saw a single object even start to move of its own accord. Ooh, the elusive poltergeist. This included the newspaper photographer, who found that if he watched an object, it stubbornly refused to budge. What?
It's like saying a watched kettle never boils.
I know.
It's the same thing.
So he would hold up his camera and look away. One of the photos obtained in this way was distributed by the Associated Press and touted widely as proof of the reality of the phenomenon. Examined closely, the photographic evidence in this case strongly suggested that Tina was faking the occurrences by simply throwing the phone and other flying objects when no one was looking. Tina is the poltergeist.
Oh.
She's the 14-year-old troubled adopted teenager. Poor thing. Randy's careful analysis of the other photos, many unpublished, of Tina and her flying phone strengthened the conclusion that she was faking. The editor of the Columbus Dispatch, Luke Feck, embarrassed by the revelation that he and his paper were taken in by so obvious a fake, refused Randy permission to print the photos he had given him earlier, in an apparent attempt to suppress the evidence of Tina's trickery and the newspaper's credulity. In a later incident, that was all from the quote from that person.
Okay.
Yeah. In a later incident, a visiting television crew inadvertently left a video camera on. Of course they did, which caught footage of Tina deliberately knocking over a table lamp. Oh, Tina. Then screaming as if in fright, an event that had previously been ascribed to the poltergeist. When confronted with the videotape, Tina claimed that she had done it to get the reporters to leave. Randy characterized the situation as a hoax by an adolescent girl seeking attention, saying examination, this is in quotes, examination of available material indicates that fraudulent means or perfectly explainable methods have been employed to provide the media with sensational details about an otherwise trivial matter. Randy examined a roll of photos taken by press photographers and said that they showed the girl's foot hooked beneath the sofa that had purportedly moved by itself, and that the glass in a picture frame that allegedly shattered on its own while in her hands was already broken before she ever picked it up. His conclusion of the case, as he reported in Skeptical Inquirer, spring 1985, I believe that was a thing, was as follows. The evidence for the validity. Oh, I can't even speak tonight. The evidence for the validity of poltergeist claims in this case is anecdotal and thin at best. The evidence against them is, in my estimation, strong and convincing. Okay. So, conviction and imprisonment. Tina Resch married and divorced twice, changing her name to Christina Boyer, and had a 3-year-old daughter named Amber. In April 1992, Amber was found dead, suspected to have been beaten to death. Jeez. Boyer and David Heron, her boyfriend of a few months, were arrested and tried for the murder of Amber. Tina was not present at the time of the death of her daughter, who had been left in Heron's care at the time. The medical examiner at Heron's trial testified that the cause of Amber's death was blunt force trauma she received to her head, inflicted shortly before her death, and both Tina and Heron blamed each other for the injuries. Even as the Unsolved Mysteries segment about Tina premiered on May 19, 1993, Boyer was in jail and awaiting trial. At the time, the Unsolved Mysteries segment made no mention of the criminal charges against Tina. Tina was charged with aggravated battery, and in October 1994, rather than face trial and the possibility of a death sentence, Boyer agreed to a plea bargain negotiated by her attorney and district attorney, Peter Skandalakis. She entered an Alford plea in which she pleaded guilty while maintaining her innocence. Tina received a life sentence plus 20 years with the possibility of parole. David Heron was convicted of cruelty to children and sentenced to 20 years. He was released from Dooley State Prison on November 16, 2011. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution referred to Boyer as the telekinetic mom in some of its reporting on the legal issues in 1994. In 2004, William Roll collaborated with writer Valerie Story, a writer and her last name Story, on a book entitled Unleashed of Poltergeist and Murder, The Curious Story of Tina Resch. The book claims Tina possessed telekinetic powers and was innocent in the death of Amber. Since 2008, Boyer has been incarcerated at Pulaski State Prison in Hawkinsville, Georgia. As of July 2017, the Unsolved Mysteries segment about her had not been made available for streaming via Amazon Video, even though numerous other Unsolved Mysteries segments had.
Wonder why.
Oh, because, I don't know. Maybe they'll still... I don't know why, actually. It's weird. There we go. Not entirely dark or creepy.
No, just more that, I don't know, maybe she was doing it for attention. I think she was.
You think she...
Yeah, I mean, she was a foster kid. And she must have had a traumatic child. Well, she may have had a traumatic childhood as a result.
Yeah.
And she may have just been doing it for attention. But in a way, I wish that she had admitted it, or that people had found out and she had gotten some help in some way before it got to that.
Yeah.
And also, why did she get more time than the boyfriend who obviously did it?
Yeah, I mean, he was there.
He was the only one that was there. I'm assuming she had an alibi, and that's why she wasn't there. But why did she get more time than him? He's the one who did it.
Yeah, because I think that from what I've read, she kept saying that the poltergeist did it, and wouldn't actually say that, wouldn't admit that she did it or the boyfriend did it. And they said to her, they pretty much said, unless you say that, one of you did it, then...
Yeah, but the court should be able to objectively realise she had an alibi for why she wasn't there. She's saying that the poltergeist did it, but we know it wasn't the poltergeist. Therefore, the only person who could have done it was the boyfriend, and the boyfriend should be getting the fucking more sentence because he's the one who actually did it.
Yeah.
She should be getting a sentence for negligence, but he should be getting the sentence for murder. It doesn't make any sense that she would get more time than he did when she didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there was an alibi involved.
Well, we don't know that.
I mean, if there wasn't, then I can understand that. But
why was he only convicted of cruelty to children?
Yeah, why wasn't he convicted of death for murder?
For murder?
For murder. That doesn't make any sense.
Whereas she received life sentence plus 20 years.
Yeah.
With some possibility of parole.
Because they specifically said that she wasn't there, right?
Yeah, well, she claimed she wasn't there.
Oh, okay, she claimed she wasn't there, that's different. But if she had an alibi and they knew she wasn't there, that doesn't make any sense. But anyway.
Yeah. It just says Tina was not present at the time of the death of her daughter, who had been left in Heron's care at the time.
Yeah, see, that's weird. Why would she get more time?
Well, maybe she did do it because the medical examiner at Heron's trial testified that the cause of Amber's death was blunt force trauma she received to her head, inflicted shortly before her death. I mean,
so are they saying that
maybe they beat her up and then she fled? Yeah.
Maybe the mother did it and then ran away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then her and the boyfriend blamed each other for the injuries.
Yeah.
But she also did blame the poltergeist too.
Yeah.
So,
which I think the Poltergeist sounds like it's been fairly thoroughly debunked.
Yeah, in
Sure.
that case, yeah.
Well, it sounds like a lot of the poltergeist theories have been about naughty children or naughty teenagers
Exactly.
making shit up because they need attention.
Well,
And I know that sounds really bad, but it's actually really sad that,
It is
that
really
kids
sad.
feel they need to do that.
yeah.
And I can understand it in terms of like kids back in the 1800s, up till probably about the 1940s, because at that point they were still very much the argument that children should be seen and not heard.
Well, yeah.
So if children felt negligence because they weren't able to be noticed by their parents, I suppose
Yeah.
it would make sense. And I suppose that's why you see such a huge flare of poltergeists around that era.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's interesting, though.
interesting article for us today, Scott.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm yet to experience a poltergeist.
I don't want to experience poltergeist, thank you.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
No.
No.
And the idea that it might attach itself to a person rather than a place is a little bit.
That's
yeah,
very
because they're not
terrifying.
placed. Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
setting-based, location-based either.
Yeah.
Never get away.
To be honest, it makes more sense for a ghost to be location-based. For me,
yeah.
if ghosts were real, it would make more sense for a ghost to be location-based than to be person-based.
Oh, for sure.
Because, like,
Like, you know, I feel like my grandmother's house was, you know, it had her spirit in there. She never followed me I've moved several times since living in her house after her death, and I could definitely feel her presence there. But, you know, I've moved several times. I know she has not followed. Like, you know, she's probably, you know, and since that house has been knocked down and other stuff been, you know, apartments have been built on top of it. So I don't know if she's still there or if she went with the materials of the house.
do you feel Nana's presence in her house?
No, not really.
What about Nanu's presence?
No.
No. You don't feel
Oh.
anyone in the
In the
big what's it called?
the big
In memoriam house.
the memoriam house that's left. How my grandparents lived in it. That house. I don't know. It's got. I've taken you in there.
No, I've never been in
You've
there.
been in there.
No.
It's got a weird feel to it.
Probably feels weird because no one's lived in it for how many years?
I do feel a bit uneasy when I go upstairs there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that where her Elvis stuff is?
No, that's my auntie's Elvis stuff.
Oh, that's your auntie's Elvis.
Nana never really went upstairs.
Nana.
Yeah.
There's the bedroom downstairs.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And my dad and auntie had bedrooms upstairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, upstairs feels weird.
Yeah.
Like when we were younger, my brothers and I used to dare each other to go up there, no, you go up there. You have to go up there. Otherwise, you know, I won't let you use blah, blah, blah. Like we dare each other to go up there, and then you go up there, you have to count to 3 and then run back down screaming. Like,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. It does feel weird up there, we don't
Yeah.
know why though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your dad's property has these old houses on it that are like old and boarded up
Yeah,
and
there's
creepy
the older
and shit.
houses
It's like, the entire property is just freaky. I don't know why.
It
Like-
is.
like-
We could easily film a horror film there.
Yeah, it's really terrifying.
Yeah, my family just are hoarders and
Yeah.
won't knock stuff down.
You need to tell you what. If your dad ever moves out of that place or whatever, just demolish the whole bit of land and sell it.
Oh, that's what I want to do, but I know that I'll be up against, you know, other family members who'll be like, no, sentimental, let's keep it.
Yeah,
I
but
think
nobody's
me and at least
using
one of my,
it.
I think at least me and one of my cousins, because we're both Capricorns, are just going to be like, knock it all down, burn it, let's get rid
Just
of
sell
it.
the land.
And everyone else, you know, my 2 brothers and his siblings are going to be like, oh no, we can't get rid of it. Our grandparents bought it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I
They built
know.
houses on it with their bare hands, and
And I understand that sentimentality, but
they're
someone's
like
got to
shrines.
use it,
well, or not.
or at least sell the empty bits.
Frank is a pragmatist.
Yeah, I know.
It depends. On my stuff, I'm pretty sentimental, but
Yes,
when
you are.
it's a bunch
Other
of
people's
land
stuff,
that
no.
no one's using, it doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
I know, it doesn't make any sense.
If you were using it, then yeah, okay, that makes sense. But no one's using it.
Yeah,
Your dad's using like less than a quarter of that land.
I know,
But
but
anyway,
but the old house that's on that land, like the one before they built my grandparents built the double story. We used to call it the blue house, but now
Yes.
it's the white house because it's weatherboard, I think.
yeah,
That shit is fucking scary.
it's fucking terrifying. I walked past there once when we went to the big stone fruit one summer. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
Like holy shit. You're like, oh my
It's like
god.
we stare at each other. My brothers and I stare at each other to go in there as well. And one time we go in there and just a window breaks and it's like ah. And there's like these old wooden prams and I said to Margie, we saw that pram. Was that your dog pram? She's like, no, that's my pram. I was in. I'm like, why?
Why would you keep that?
I was like,
Went up with that.
I'm like, yeah, that was like. I'm like, what? What do you mean? She's like, oh, I used to sit in it as a baby. I'm like, that looks like a death. Like it looks like a baby would die in that.
Well, they probably didn't have the same safety.
No,
regulations
of course
back
not.
then.
It was the early 60s.
Mm.
But why is that stuff still sitting there? Like, it's bizarre. And I don't know if that's a feeling of, I don't know, just it being old and dilapidated, that it gives you that eerie feeling, or maybe there are spirits in there.
Probably the old and dilapidated thing.
Yeah, and smelling of mould and cobwebs and
Dust.
lots of dust, and just old things that are really creepy, like that pram. It's just like, ugh.
Anyway, let's leave it there. on the thought of old prams.
Yeah.
Thank you very much again to our patrons for sponsoring us yet again.
The cats may not eat us this week.
Maybe.
Do you have food for them?
Yeah.
Okay, we bought
got food from
Alright.
last week.
I know, Louis looking at
Louis looking at me like, I'm gonna bloody eat you.
Yeah, he does look a bit like that.
Yeah, like, did you get me my food that I wanted? No.
They're being really fussy at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Just pick out the expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the filler.
We'll leave it there then.
Thanks to our patrons.
Thanks, patrons.
Bitten by the bug.
Maya.
Francis. Maya.
Sean.
Sean.
Thank you. Thank you, Sindel, for joining us on yet again another episode.
Oh, anytime.
Yeah.
Maybe you can come up with an episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to have a think.
Yeah, have a search around. You never know what you might find.
I do like a good ghost story.
Yeah, try to find something that's. Yeah, I would have thought Poltergeist would be scary, but it's disappointing.
A little bit too scientific.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but it was, a bit too like, oh, it's just naughty kids.
Well, mostly.
Mostly.
Nearly always naughty children.
What's with the mongoose, though?
Yeah, I regret suggesting that one.
Mongoose.
I'm really puzzled by that.
Yeah, that's a really puzzling one.
Yeah, mongoose regret.
Mongoose regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, what have you done?
Anyway.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. See you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.